When was the last time the ending of a book genuinely surprised you? Not in a confused way, but in an I did not see this coming and yet it was the only possible way this could have ended way. Writing the beginning of a book is hard. The middle is harder. But the ending is where books go to die. And I don't mean that dramatically. Okay, I mean that a little dramatically. But think about how many books you've read that were genuinely compelling right up until the last 50 or so pages. And then something shifted. The momentum drained. The resolution arrived, and instead of feeling moved or surprised or wrecked in the best possible way, you just felt done, like you checked a box. That experience, that deflation, happens when an ending is technically complete, but emotionally hollow. And the thing is that most endings that feel predictable don't fail because the writer added the plot twist too early. They fail for much deeper, quieter reasons that start way before the final chapter. So today we're going to talk about what actually makes an ending strong and unpredictable, and the mistakes that might be making yours land flat, even when you've technically resolved everything. If you're new here, my name is Brianna, and I post videos every Sunday that help you become a better writer. I also make easy-to-use writing workbooks that help you build and outline your novel from start to finish, so check them out in my Etsy shop, Planner Palette Co., link in the description below if you're interested, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Now, before we get into the mistakes, I want to give you the single most useful framework I know for thinking about endings, and it comes from Aristotle. It's that a good ending must be unexpected, yet inevitable. Unexpected yet inevitable. Those two words feel like opposites, and yet the greatest endings in fiction manage to be both at once. When you reach that final page, you think, I didn't see that coming, but how could it have ended any other way? That tension is what you're aiming for, and everything we talk about today will be in service of hitting it. The first mistake is that your character's arc was too predictable. And this is the root cause of most anticlimactic endings. And it usually happens because writers are too focused on the plot when they should be focused on the character. For example, let's say your protagonist, Kyle, starts the story with a flaw. Let's say he's emotionally closed off, convinced that trusting people is a weakness. The story puts him through various trials where he slowly learns that connection is actually strength. And then, in the final act, he opens up, trusts someone, and wins. The end. Technically, that's a complete character arc, but it's also totally predictable because the reader saw the arc coming from the second chapter. The flaw was introduced, the solution was implied, and the ending just delivered on that implication. A predictable or unearned character arc happens when the reader doesn't buy the change. They don't see what would have led this character to change. And even when the arc is earned, it can still feel predictable if the writer made the destination too obvious too early on. So you can fix this by complicating the arc. Instead of Kyle simply learning to trust, have the arc cost him something that he genuinely valued. Have him choose connection and have that choice result in a real painful loss, not just a clean victory. Or subvert the lesson entirely. Maybe Kyle learns to trust himself rather than others, which is a different, more nuanced resolution than what the reader anticipated. The greatest sacrifices almost always happen in the ending. Look at all the ways your protagonist can lose something that they hold dear. If your protagonist has a strong belief that defines them, force them to betray that belief, or have their actions to win shatter it. If there's a line your protagonist refuses to cross, shove them across it. The second mistake is that you resolve the plot, but not the theme. I know I talk about theme quite a lot in my videos, but this mistake is one that I think is especially common in fantasy and romantasy, because those genres tend to have big, plot-heavy climaxes, final battles, fighting dark lords, prophecies are being fulfilled, yet they often feel satisfying on the surface, but leave a strange feeling of hollowness underneath. Your plot and your theme are two different things. Your plot is what happens, your theme is what it means. If you close out the plot without also landing the theme, your reader will finish the book feeling kind of empty and not knowing why. For example, if your story is fundamentally about the cost of revenge, then your ending needs to say something about revenge, not just whether the protagonist succeeded the mission. If your story is about whether love can survive betrayal, the ending needs to answer that question in a way that feels true, not just wrap up the romantic subplot with a kiss. A story's ending should bring a powerful close to your character development. The main character has learned valuable lessons along the way, and the ending should illustrate their transformation. The ending should always resolve the central conflict you laid out in the beginning of the novel. That said, the emotional central conflict, the thematic one, is often different from the plot central conflict, and both of them need resolution. The third mistake is that you over-foreshadowed your ending. Okay, this one requires some nuance because writers are always told that they need to foreshadow their endings. And that's true, you absolutely should. But there's a difference between foreshadowing and telegraphing, and a lot of writers don't know where that line is. Foreshadowing plants seeds, whereas telegraphing points arrows. When the protagonist has only one logical choice, there are no red herrings, and the setup points to only one outcome, these are the kinds of things that enable the reader to see the end coming long before the final chapter. So much predictability drains the power out of your ending. If every scene in your second act is clearly, loudly building toward one specific resolution, your reader will have figured it out by the midpoint. And once they've figured it out, reading the last 100 pages becomes just listening to someone slowly confirm what you already know. My suggestion is to plant emotional truths rather than plot truths. Or in other words, make your foreshadowing work on a thematic level rather than a plot level. So instead of showing us early on that Mara has secret combat training so we know she'll save the day in the final battle, show us early on that Mara is someone who always shows up when it matters. That's a character truth, not a hint at the plot. The reader absorbs it, files it away, and when Mara does arrive to save the day, it feels both surprising and inevitable because it's completely consistent with who she is, but we didn't see the specific shape of it coming. Now, a plot twist must be thoroughly foreshadowed. Unpredictable, but not out of nowhere. You want to use subtle clues throughout your novel to lay the groundwork for the final twist. That way it lands hard, but feels inevitable in retrospect. The key word here is subtle. Foreshadowing should whisper, not shout. And never use plot twists to patch up plot issues. And if you're interested, I have, I think, 2 videos about how to write plot twists, so you can go check that out after this video. The fourth mistake is that your resolution arrives too easily. Think about your current ending and really ask yourself, how hard did your protagonist have to work to get there? And I don't mean physically hard, like whether there was a battle or not. I mean, did they have to give something up? Did winning cost them something significant? Did the resolution require them to make a choice that genuinely could have gone either way, where both paths had real weight? Because if the answer is no, if your protagonist basically just had to show up and be their best self and the universe rewarded them for it, your ending will probably feel unearned no matter how well you've plotted everything else. Your main character shouldn't have a happy ending by lucky coincidence. They need to earn that ending in some way through their actions and their growth as a character. Happiness shouldn't be handed to them on a silver platter. The most emotionally resonant endings happen when the protagonist faces a final choice that costs them something real. And the reason that cost matters so much is because it's what makes the victory feel worth something. A win without sacrifice is just an outcome, but a win that required the protagonist to abandon someone or something they loved, or betray a belief they held, or step across a line they swore they'd never cross, that's a story. Victory always means more when we understand what it took to get there. And the fifth and final mistake is that you kept going after the story was over. Now this one is painful because it usually comes from a very loving place. You spent a long time with these characters. You don't want to leave them, and so you keep writing after the resolution has been reached. A scene, then another scene, maybe an epilogue, then maybe turn that epilogue into another final chapter, and then write a new epilogue. By the time you finally stop, the emotional peak of your story is buried under layers of wrapping up. And you might decide that in the end, your character doesn't reach their goal at all. But if not, there must be something invaluable they learn through the effort that makes both the journey and the ending of your novel inevitable but not predictable. Once the main arc has reached its final, most meaningful transformation, wrap it up within 1 or 2 chapters. A rule of thumb that I found useful is to end your story at the moment of maximum emotional impact. So usually not the resolution of the final battle, but the emotional resolution. The moment your protagonist understands what their journey meant, makes their final choice, or faces the consequences of everything they've done. Once that moment is passed, every page you add is diluting it. The reader's emotions have peaked. They're ready. Let them go. Think about the ending of a book or a film that genuinely wrecked you. I'd be willing to bet it ended faster than you expected. It delivered the punch and then stepped back and let you sit with it. And just to briefly touch on the topic of epilogues, an epilogue can be meaningful and purposeful, but it earns its place by adding an emotional dimension that the main story couldn't reach, not by summarizing what we already know. If your epilogue mostly tells us that everyone lived happily ever after and here's what their lives look like 5 years later, it might be better to cut it. Trust the ending that you wrote. The moment you feel the need to reassure the reader that everything is fine is the moment you stop trusting the story to speak for itself. So Aristotle said it best: unexpected, yet inevitable. Your ending isn't just the last chapter. It's the argument your entire story has been building toward. Every choice your characters made, every theme you wove in, it all has to arrive somewhere. And if that somewhere feels like a place the reader has already visited in their imagination before you wrote it, then you haven't done the most important work yet. So before you consider your ending done, ask yourself, did it cause something real? Did it answer the theme, not just the plot? Did it surprise you, even a little, after everything you planned? And did you stop writing at the right moment, or did you keep going because you were afraid to let go? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you might want to watch this one next. And tell me, what's an ending from a book or show that genuinely wrecked you in the best possible way? Until the next chapter.